was raising the bids aggressively. Impression came in. Now ACoS is a little high. The answer is just keep raising bids till you start getting impressions, even though that things get a little bit high. Great. Sounds like you were able to get the impressions, but now the ACoS is getting a little bit high. And that's always the struggle.
That can be a really tricky one. And what I break it down into is 2 buckets. You've either got a bid problem, or I guess it could be 3, a relevance problem, or just a nuance of the algorithm problem where no matter what, you can be relevant, you can have great bids, but you're just not going to serve impressions because the algorithm just is not respecting it. So the first thing is to identify which of those it is. Typically, I tell people, if you look at the account or even the product line, you look at the average CPC for it, and you're starting your bids roughly at that, and you're not getting impressions, then that tells me I'm leaning towards it's something with the algorithm. There are little techniques you can use to kind of force it through, if you will. I won't get too far into the weeds on that, but I'm always a little hesitant to incorporate into bid ops as a whole some kind of low or no impression bid boost, because I feel like what it can do is create all these little landmines across the entire account where you've got these huge bids, none are serving impressions, and then all of a sudden, bam, they're coming up here, they're coming up over here. So you do have to be very mindful of it.
Actually, I've talked about a couple of times, like kind of going into these tentpole days, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Prime Day that we just have, like, you know, so starting good, just sort of account cleanup, optimization type strategies. That's one of them. I'm like, hey, check your high bids, no impression keywords. Those things sneak up on you. It's actually really easy to check them in the targeting tab. There could be a couple things that it is. One is it could be kind of an algorithm thing, which it seems like you've circumvented that a little bit with just, you know, jacking up the bids. So congratulations on the impressions. Unfortunately, what's happening is that you're getting clicks at such a high cost per click. That's why that high cost is happening. So there's really a couple different decisions. One, you say the ACoS is a little high. You didn't say like, hey, it's crazy. So my thought is that might just be kind of the pay to play you have right now. Things that will bring the ACoS down is if you can prove out good conversion rates, good click-through rates. It's not a bulletproof solution. I never like to bank on your cost per clicks will go down once the algorithm starts to like your product. It does happen. It's not guaranteed. So it might just be that you want to give it time. And then the other thing would be just see if the ACoS is a little high. How high is a little high? How much are you losing? And is there sort of reverberating effects on the organic ranking? And if there are, then oftentimes it's worth sort of sacrificing that high ACoS. If there's not, and say this is like maybe a random auto campaign or something, well, then that might be something to reevaluate. And then the only other thing I would say is that I'd be curious to know this. So when you have something that you kind of want to like baby the impressions or be like very cognizant of the impressions, but you still really should lower bids to help with the whole ACoS thing. Do you guys have a specific strategy on that other than like do it incrementally?
No, we just do it incrementally. And one thing I wanted to also mention too on top of that is we like to launch all your targets in every match type, because I have found that sometimes the algorithm just respects one match type over another. If you launch yoga pants or yoga mat in broad phrase and exact, you might get the search terms you want through phrase, and it serves nothing through the other two. So that's another way to try to circumvent if it is an algorithm issue.
Yeah, no, that's a great thing. It's also sometimes the bane of our existence as ad managers.
Yeah, it can be.
Like fraud match, they hate exact match. Everybody's like, why? So it's annoying. I'll grant you it's annoying, but it is a good strategy again to launch them in other mats.